What does it mean to never give up? Is it about grit, determination, or is it something deeper? Something that requires us to sit in the discomfort of failure, to feel the weight of uncertainty, and still choose to move forward. Successful people don't just rise because they're fearless. They rise because they've learned how to fall, how to hurt, and how to keep going even when every part of them wants to quit. Take Elon Musk, for example. Before SpaceX became a symbol of innovation, it faced 3 failed launches. 3. And with each failure, millions of dollars went up in flames, literally. But Musk didn't walk away. He stood in the wreckage of those failures and said, "We're going to try again." And that 4th launch, it changed everything. Or consider J.K.Rowling, who was once a single mother living on welfare, rejected by publishers 12 times. 12! Can you imagine the courage it took to send that manuscript out one more time? She didn't just write a book, she wrote her way out of despair, proving that sometimes success is just one more try away. And then there's Stephen Curry, the NBA superstar who was once told he was too small, too weak to play at the highest level. But Curry didn't let those words define him. He spent countless hours in the gym, perfecting his shot, honing his craft until he became one of the greatest shooters the game has ever seen. These stories aren't just about success. They're about the messy, painful, and beautiful process of not giving up. They remind us that failure isn't the opposite of success, it's part of it. So, if you're standing in the middle of your own struggle today, remember this. The road to success isn't paved with perfection. It's paved with persistence, with vulnerability, and with the courage to keep going, even when it feels impossible. Because that's what successful people do. They never give up. The power of resilience and vulnerability in the face of failure is not just a concept. It's a lived experience. A raw and often uncomfortable truth that defines the journey of every successful person. Resilience is not about bouncing back effortlessly or pretending that failure doesn't hurt. It's about standing in the middle of the storm, feeling the weight of disappointment, and still finding the strength to take the next step. Vulnerability, on the other hand, is the courage to admit that you're not invincible, that you're scared, that you don't have all the answers, and yet, you're willing to keep going anyway. Together, these two forces create a foundation for success that is unshakable, not because it's built on perfection, but because it's built on the willingness to endure and grow through the hardest moments. Think about what it means to fail. It's not just a moment, it's an emotional experience. It's the sting of rejection, the ache of self-doubt, the voice in your head that whispers, maybe you're not good enough. But here's the thing, failure is not the end of the story. It's the beginning of a choice. Do you let that failure define you, or do you use it as fuel to redefine yourself? Resilience is choosing the latter. It's looking at the mess in front of you and saying, this is not where I stop. It's about understanding that failure is not a reflection of your worth, but a stepping stone on the path to something greater. Vulnerability plays a crucial role in this process because it allows us to confront our failures with honesty and humility. It's easy to put on a brave face and pretend that everything is fine, but true strength comes from acknowledging the pain and uncertainty that failure brings. When we allow ourselves to be vulnerable, we open the door to growth. We give ourselves permission to learn from our mistakes, to ask for help, and to try again with a deeper understanding of what it takes to succeed. Vulnerability is not weakness, it's the birthplace of courage. It's the moment when we decide that our dreams are worth more than our fear of failing. Consider the stories of those who have achieved extraordinary success. They didn't get there by avoiding failure. They got there by embracing it. They understood that failure is not the enemy, it's the teacher. It's the force that shapes us, refines us, and prepares us for the challenges ahead. Resilience is what allows us to keep showing up, even when the odds are stacked against us. It's the quiet determination that says, I will try again tomorrow. Vulnerability is what keeps us grounded, reminding us that we are human, that we are imperfect, and that's okay. It's the willingness to say, I don't have it all figured out, but I'm not giving up. The intersection of resilience and vulnerability is where true success is born. It's not about being fearless. It's about being brave enough to face your fears. It's not about never falling. It's about getting back up every time you do. And it's not about pretending that failure doesn't hurt. It's about allowing yourself to feel that hurt and then using it to propel yourself forward. This is the essence of what it means to never give up. It's not a single moment of triumph. It's a series of small, courageous choices that add up to something extraordinary. It's the understanding that success is not a destination, but a journey, one that requires resilience to endure the challenges and vulnerability to embrace the lessons along the way. The importance of embracing discomfort and uncertainty as part of the journey cannot be overstated. Success is not a straight path. It's a winding road filled with twists, turns, and moments where the destination feels impossibly far away. It's in those moments of discomfort and uncertainty that true growth happens. When we step into the unknown, when we allow ourselves to feel the unease of not having all the answers, we open ourselves up to possibilities we never imagined. This is where innovation is born, where resilience is tested, and where the foundation of success is built. It's not about avoiding the hard parts of the journey. It's about leaning into them, trusting that even when the path is unclear, every step forward is a step closer to where we're meant to be. Elon Musk's story is a testament to this truth. His journey is not one of smooth sailing, but of relentless perseverance in the face of overwhelming odds. Before he became the visionary behind Tesla, SpaceX, and Neuralink, Musk faced a series of failures that would have made most people walk away. In the early days of SpaceX, the company experienced 3 consecutive rocket launch failures. Each failure was not just a technical setback, but a financial and emotional blow. Musk had invested nearly all of his personal fortune into the company, and with each failed launch, the dream of making space travel accessible seemed to slip further out of reach. The discomfort of those moments was palpable, the uncertainty of whether the next launch would succeed, the pressure of critics who doubted his vision, and the personal toll of risking everything on what many called an impossible dream. But Musk didn't shy away from the discomfort. He leaned into it. He embraced the uncertainty and used it as fuel to push forward. When the 4th launch finally succeeded in 2008, it wasn't just a victory for SpaceX. It was a validation of Musk's willingness to endure the hard parts of the journey. That success didn't erase the struggles that came before it, but it proved that those struggles were necessary. They were the crucible in which his vision was refined, his resilience was tested, and his ultimate success was forged. Musk's achievements are staggering, revolutionizing the automotive industry with Tesla, redefining space exploration with SpaceX, and pushing the boundaries of technology with ventures like Neuralink and the Boring Company. But what's even more remarkable is the mindset that drove these achievements. Musk didn't wait for the perfect conditions or the guarantee of success. He stepped into the discomfort of uncertainty, knowing that the only way to achieve something extraordinary was to risk failure. He understood that discomfort is not the enemy, it's the catalyst for growth. It's the space where innovation happens, where boundaries are pushed, and where the impossible becomes possible. This is the essence of embracing discomfort and uncertainty. It's about recognizing that the hard parts of the journey are not obstacles to avoid, but opportunities to grow. It's about trusting that even when the path is unclear, every step forward is a step towards something greater. It's about understanding that success is not the absence of failure, but the willingness to keep going despite it. Musk's story reminds us that the road to success is not paved with comfort and certainty. It's paved with the courage to face the unknown, the resilience to endure the challenges, and the determination to keep moving forward, even when the destination feels out of reach. This is the mindset that turns dreams into reality and transforms uncertainty into opportunity. The power of storytelling to connect emotionally with the audience is one of the most profound tools we have as human beings. Stories are not just words strung together. They are bridges that connect us to one another, that allow us to see ourselves in the experiences of others, and that remind us of our shared humanity. When we tell stories, we don't just share information, we share emotions, struggles, triumphs, and lessons that resonate on a deeply personal level. This is why storytelling is such a critical part of inspiring and motivating others. It's not about presenting facts or figures. It's about creating a narrative that touches the heart, that sparks empathy, and that leaves a lasting impression. Stories have the power to transform how we see the world and how we see ourselves. They remind us that we are not alone in our struggles, that others have walked similar paths, and that there is hope even in the darkest moments. Take the story of J.K. Rowling, for example. Her journey is not just one of literary success, but of profound personal resilience and the transformative power of storytelling. Before she became one of the most celebrated authors in the world, Rowling was a single mother living on welfare, struggling to make ends meet. She was in her mid-20s, recently divorced, and battling depression. In her own words, she felt like the biggest failure she knew, but during this incredibly difficult time, she turned to writing. It wasn't just an escape, it was a lifeline. She poured her heart into the story of a young boy named Harry Potter, a character who, like her, felt like an outsider but discovered that he was capable of extraordinary things. Rowling's writing became a way for her to process her pain, to find meaning in her struggles, and to create something beautiful out of her darkest moments. But even as she completed the manuscript for Harry Potter and the Philosopher's Stone, the challenges didn't stop. Rowling faced rejection after rejection from publishers, 12 in total. Each rejection was a blow, a reminder of how far she was from her dream. But she didn't give up. She held on to the belief that her story mattered, that it had the power to connect with others, and that it was worth fighting for. When the book was finally published, it wasn't an immediate success. It took time for the world to discover the magic of Harry Potter, but once it did, the impact was undeniable. Rowling's story resonated with millions of readers around the globe, not just because of its imaginative world building, but because of its emotional depth. It was a story about love, loss, courage, and the power of hope, themes that touched the hearts of people from all walks of life. Rowling's success is a testament to the power of storytelling, not just in her books, but in her own life. She didn't just write a story, she lived one. She showed us that even in the face of overwhelming adversity, it's possible to create something meaningful. Her journey reminds us that our struggles don't define us, they shape us. They give us the material to tell stories that inspire, that heal, and that connect us to one another. Rowling's ability to channel her pain into her writing is what made her work so powerful. She didn't shy away from the hard parts of her story. She embraced them, and in doing so, she created a narrative that resonated with millions. This is the essence of storytelling. It's about authenticity. It's about being willing to share the messy, imperfect, and often painful parts of our lives, not just the triumphs. When we tell stories that are rooted in truth, we create a space for others to see themselves in our experiences. We give them permission to feel, to hope, and to believe that their own stories matter. Rowling's story is a reminder that storytelling is not just about entertaining, it's about empowering. It's about showing others that they are not alone, that their struggles are valid, and that there is light at the end of the tunnel. The emotional connection that storytelling creates is what makes it such a powerful tool for inspiring change. When we hear a story that moves us, it stays with us. It becomes a part of who we are, shaping how we see the world and how we navigate our own challenges. Rowling's story of perseverance, creativity, and resilience has inspired countless people to pursue their own dreams, even when the odds seem stacked against them. It's a reminder that our stories have value, that they have the power to touch lives, and that they can be a source of hope and inspiration for others. In a world that often feels disconnected, storytelling is the thread that binds us together. It's the way we share our humanity, our struggles, and our triumphs. It's the way we remind each other that we are not alone, that our experiences matter, and that there is beauty in the journey, even when it's hard. Rowling's story is a powerful example of this truth. It shows us that storytelling is not just about creating art, it's about creating connection. It's about using our voices to inspire, to heal, and to remind others that no matter how difficult the road may be, there is always hope. And that is the true power of storytelling. The idea that success is not linear but built through persistence is a truth that resonates deeply with anyone who has ever dared to dream. Success is not a straight line from point A to point B. It's a winding path filled with peaks and valleys, triumphs and setbacks. It's a journey that requires not just talent or opportunity, but an unwavering commitment to keep going even when the road gets tough. This is where persistence comes in. The quiet, relentless determination to push forward, to learn from failure, and to keep striving for something greater. Persistence is what turns obstacles into stepping stones and transforms dreams into reality. It's the understanding that every setback is a setup for a comeback, and every failure is a lesson in disguise. Stephen Curry's story is a perfect example of this principle in action. Today, he is widely regarded as one of the greatest basketball players of all time, a two-time MVP and a four-time NBA champion. But his journey to the top was anything but smooth. Growing up, Curry was often told he was too small, too weak, and not athletic enough to compete at the highest level. Even after he proved himself in college, leading Davidson to an unforgettable NCAA tournament run, critics doubted whether his game could translate to the NBA. When he was drafted by the Golden State Warriors in 2009, he faced skepticism about his ability to succeed in a league dominated by physicality and size. Early in his career, he struggled with ankle injuries that threatened to derail his progress. At one point, it seemed like his potential might never be fully realized. But Curry didn't let the doubts or the setbacks define him. Instead, he used them as fuel. He worked tirelessly to improve his game, spending countless hours in the gym perfecting his shot, honing his ball handling skills, and strengthening his body to withstand the demands of the NBA. He didn't just accept his limitations, he turned them into strengths. His persistence paid off. Over time, Curry not only silenced his critics, but revolutionized the game of basketball. His unparalleled shooting ability, combined with his creativity and work ethic, changed how the game is played and inspired a new generation of players. But what's most remarkable about Curry's success is not the accolades or the championships. It's the mindset that got him there. He never gave up, even when the odds were against him. He embraced the grind, trusted the process, and kept pushing forward, one step at a time. Curry's journey is a powerful reminder that success is not about avoiding failure. It's about persisting through it. It's about showing up every day, even when the results aren't immediate, and trusting that the work will pay off in the long run. It's about understanding that the path to greatness is not a straight line, but a series of ups and downs, each one teaching us something valuable about ourselves and our goals. Curry's story shows us that persistence is not just about hard work. It's about resilience, adaptability, and an unshakable belief in your ability to overcome. This is the essence of building success through persistence. It's about recognizing that the journey will be messy, that there will be moments of doubt and frustration, but that every step forward, no matter how small, is progress. It's about understanding that success is not a destination, but a process, one that requires patience, determination, and a willingness to keep going even when the road is hard. Curry's story reminds us that the most meaningful achievements are not the ones that come easily, but the ones that are earned through perseverance and grit. It's a testament to the power of persistence and a reminder that no matter how many times you fall, what matters most is that you keep getting back up. The idea of inspiring hope and courage by showing how even the most successful people face setbacks is a powerful reminder that no one is immune to failure. It's easy to look at someone who has achieved greatness and assume that their path was smooth, that they were somehow destined for success. But the truth is, every successful person has faced moments of doubt, disappointment, and failure. What sets them apart is not the absence of struggle, but their ability to rise above it. By sharing these stories, we can inspire hope in others, showing them that setbacks are not the end of the road, but part of the journey. We can remind them that courage is not the absence of fear, but the willingness to keep going despite it. This is how we build resilience, not by avoiding challenges, but by facing them head on and emerging stronger on the other side. Consider the stories of those who have achieved extraordinary success. They are not tales of unbroken triumph, but of perseverance in the face of adversity. They are stories of people who refused to let failure define them, who chose to see setbacks as opportunities for growth rather than reasons to give up. These stories remind us that success is not about never falling, it's about getting back up every time we do. They show us that the road to greatness is paved with challenges, but it's those very challenges that make the journey worthwhile. When we share these stories, we give others permission to hope, to believe that their own struggles are not insurmountable, and to find the courage to keep moving forward. Take, for example, the story of J.K. Rowling, who faced rejection after rejection before Harry Potter became a global phenomenon. Or Elon Musk, who risked everything on SpaceX, enduring multiple failed launches before achieving success. Or Stephen Curry, who was told he was too small to play in the NBA but went on to become one of the greatest players in the history of the game. These stories are not just about success, they are about resilience, determination, and the power of hope. They remind us that even the most successful people have faced moments of doubt and failure, but they didn't let those moments stop them. They kept going, and in doing so, they achieved something extraordinary. By sharing these stories, we can inspire others to do the same. We can show them that setbacks are not the end of the road, but part of the journey. We can remind them that courage is not about being fearless, but about facing your fears and moving forward anyway. This is how we build hope, not by pretending that the road will be easy, but by showing that it's possible to overcome the challenges along the way. It's about creating a narrative that says if they can do it, so can you. It's about reminding people that their struggles are valid, that their dreams are worth fighting for, and that they have the strength to keep going even when the road is hard. This is the power of inspiring hope and courage through storytelling. It's not about painting a picture of perfection, but about showing the messy, imperfect, and often painful journey that leads to success. It's about creating a space where people can see themselves in the stories of others, where they can find the courage to keep going, and where they can believe that their own story is worth telling. When we share these stories, we don't just inspire hope, we create it. We remind people that no matter how difficult the road may be, there is always a way forward. And that is the true power of hope and courage.